Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and even though we're at the end of the season, we still have more action for you here at the Overwatch University League for the EU region and for NA later on today. We're going to be showcasing some of the top talent from each division inside the EU region today. My name is Daniel Dudge-Sandel, and joining me today for this fantastic occasion is the one and only Energy Being. How are you doing, my man?
Well, I can speak for both of us when we both can say that we have been much, much better than this before. Just for context, me and Dews are doing this both while, ill and infirm. I have bronchitis, the ends of bronchitis, where I am getting exhausted frequently, and Dews, you are, post-surgery right now, so this is an interesting one for us.
Dedication to the max is going to be coming out for us here today, as we're going to be going into the All-Stars teams. First of all, it was EU Red versus EU Blue, but the guys have given themselves some fantastic names. We're going to be having Trigger Me Baby versus Eating Pulse Bombs Like Candy.
Yeah.
So definitely some interesting people we're seeing on these teams as well. People we've been seeing throughout the entire season, and of course it would be exactly like that considering we are considering these guys the all-stars of this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty much most of these people, if you've watched our streams before, you'll notice at least a few of them. One being Blink from that incredible first two games in the beginning of the season, Pichu, Luke Lex from previous games, we have Dashi and Proximo, who we have also seen, Natsukage, who we did on a stream on my channel, Wybe, also from streams that we have done here previously, and Ogbeast, I believe we've done before, the one Division 1 match that we've seen on this stream. So yeah, this is a pretty loaded lineup for everybody.
Definitely the case, and looking at some of these people as well, big shout out to from Eating Pulse Bombs Like Candy. We're just probably going to call them Pulse Bombs for the time being. Taking a look at some of these people, you mentioned Blink. Blink was one of our most improved players across the entirety of the last season from the team Don't Blink, which unfortunately did disband, but his Tracer has been absolutely nuts throughout the entire season.
Yeah. Sorry, just typing something in chat. There is some background static in the room. I have to leave a fan on so that I don't get exhausted, which is, it's a byproduct of still being sick. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that's why that is there. But still, we have a lot of really good people. We have Blink, who, again, no matter how his team did on that first match, that first Pulse Bomb was ridiculous. We have Pichu, who is the Roadhog main of this entire tournament, except Roadhog has been very, very punished with this most recent patch. We'll have to see what he does. We've seen Luke Lex, who plays very well, and Dashi, who also plays very well, Proximo, who is known for his McCree. We have Natsukage, we have Ogbeast, we have Wybe, we have tons of very good people in this match, and I am interested to see what they do.
One of the other big things that we do have to consider going into this, we are showcasing the entire tournament. So we're not just seeing the very top, but we're going from top all the way down to bottom. As you say, we have Division 1 all the way through to Division 7, and these teams are looking very even at the same time. So we have to take a look at which roles will be competing against one another in such a huge range of SRs and mechanical skill sets.
And it should be noted a little bit that the teams are slightly unbalanced with how they are. One team has a lot of Division 2 and Division 3, and then the other team has the Division 1, but it also has some Div 4, Div 5, Div 6, and it's just an interesting balancing act. We'll see if Trigger Me Baby can overcome the disadvantage on their divisions. They are definitely the best players in their respective divisions, and we also have Eating Pulse Bombs Like Candy, which is the best players from pretty much Div 2 through Div 4 for the most part.
Also taking a look through all of these teams, gotta say, everybody here has played fantastically throughout the season, and the voting process did highlight these players that people wanted to see more of. Now, before we do go into playoffs, of course, this will be our All-Stars event. Today we're going to be playing a best of 5 series, which is quite new for us here because we usually only have the best of 3s. Now, taking a look at the EU map pool today, our first round will be on Dorado. Following this, we'll be going over to Numbani, where we'll be seeing another fantastic round. Following that up with Oasis, Temple of Anubis will be our 4th map. And final map, if we do get the full best of 5, which I'm really hoping we do get to see, is Lijiang Tower. If we do have to have any tiebreakers today, of course Oasis, Temple of Anubis, and Lijiang Tower could be seeing those. We'll be going to a best of 1 in Nepal. But first of all, we're going to our escort map for the day. We're heading to Dorado, which we have to say, gonna be a fantastic opener for this, as we do have a very excellent starting to this. Now, do you want to just quickly go over the very beginnings of this map and what we're expecting to see, Energy?
Sir. Let's see. Have to just type in the team names at the top.
Okay, so whilst Energy's getting that sorted, as mentioned, we are in Dorado. Taking a look at the team compositions already, we're seeing some different things already starting up. Natsukage, we did mention earlier, usually playing the Mercy, is not going to be playing that. Jellyfish will be playing that for his team instead here. Natsukage taking the Reinhardt instead.
And on the side of eating pulse bombs like candy, we have Pichu on that Roadhog, Blink, surprisingly, on that Reaper, which has been extremely good in this recent patch. A lot of people have like very conflicting opinions about him, but I think that honestly his healing at the moment is a bit broken. When he's ulting, if he can get a few people in there, he's not going to go down. Have a comment, sir?
No, that's fine. I was just in the middle of a little bit of a breath there.
Okay. Yeah.
Sort of a last sort of a breath, you know, halfway
Yeah,
in
no,
between.
it's fine. Lukelex, who is on that Zenyatta. We have Dashi on the Soldier. Panluka on the... Oh, we have a Widowmaker instead.
Not seeing a dive composition coming out at the beginning of this, but that Dashi is going to be looking for the opening shot. Gets chunked out almost immediately, though, having to drop all the way back down. This is going to be the payload going around the first corner quite easily. Panluka's fire strike there going to be going straight into a defense matrix. Pichu not finding that hook, unfortunately. Payload still going down, going to have to wait for the drop from the blue side here. Panluka just taking a look around, seeing what he can find. There's the first hook landing. Og Beast going to be pulled out, finished off by the Zenyatta. That's a very bloodthirsty support to start this off, as the first blood has been drawn here. Blink now on that Tracer, looking around, trying to find a flank, getting chunked out almost immediately at the beginning. Pichu finding a second kill already on Cohen, following that lovely hook once again. These nerfs not doing anything for him. Panluka battering the Mercy around the face there, as this is the choke point already going to be surpassed. Pichu finding another kill, finding another hook, as Natsukage gonna be taken out of the fight almost immediately, forcing the retreat from the blue side.
One thing we can say without any hesitation is that Pichu has not been taken down too much by this nerf. He may have to work with his team a little bit more to get that proper damage out, but he is doing an incredible job with these hooks and these kills anyway.
Taking a look at the ults already being built up here. Panluka, Proximo, Lukelex going to be using his to start that off there. Not quite sure what was going on. Dashi does also have the Widow ult available now. Seeing a PogChamp in the chat, so I'm guessing that was a little bit of a fat finger coming out. Very unfortunate timing there from Lukelex. High ground is going to be the blue side. Post bomb coming down. Not
Natsukage low.
Kill, unfortunately. Blink trying to blink around and does exactly what he needs to. Og Beast going to suicide there, as this is yet another corner. Rocket Barrage coming down wide, getting the first kill there. Cone taking Dashi out of the fight, but that will be the Earth Shatter. That will be Blink getting a kill, but Wibe trading back.
Man.
It's another Wibe still flying, still trying to find something, but this is Blink running around, finding the Pharah. Cone looking for whatever work he can, and this payload has not stopped moving. Easy mode is gonna be called out by Cone here as he's just battering some damage down, but payload still going forward. Natsukage gonna charge onto that, getting the contest. That's no hook being found, unfortunately, as Natsukage beating around the bush. Beautiful
man.
Earth Shatter into the Tac Visor. This is Ogre Beast looking for more as he's already found 3, pushing the attackers off for the first time and regaining their own defensive sides here.
They definitely have stopped this push. It took them a little bit to get up to it, but they may be able to hold this defense from this position. If they can hold the high ground, if Wibe and Ogbeast can do a very good job suppressing them with damage and keeping them from pushing with that Reinhardt, they may be able to pull this out.
Of course, that will be the case. We're going to have to see whether the red side are able to regain the massive momentum that they had beforehand. Natsukage gonna be taken down by the pulse bomb as the self-destruct already gonna come through. Gets 2 kills! Not gonna be shielded off there. Beautiful defensive ultimate being used from Cohen there, as we did not expect to see that. Finds a 3rd kill for himself down onto Panluca as well, and it looks like the answer to my question from earlier is going to be they're not going to regain that momentum anytime soon, as that's another retreat forced out from the blue side here.
It was a nice, good hold. The attacking side doesn't have a Mercy or anything that they can cancel out any of the deaths that they're getting on their side, so they really have to be conservative when they push. Proxima's doing an incredible job healing them, but honestly, by himself with the Zenyatta, he isn't able to do enough quite.
Oh my goodness, Blink getting a beautiful shot there. Did not expect to see him on the Widow here either, as he's looking for another. This is going to be Cohen trying to chase him off. Jellyfish using that Resurrect straight away, as Onimus using the breaking it down as he's trying to find whatever he can. Transcendence used by Luplex. Little bit less of a fat finger that time, as Wibe going to be slapped out of the sky, not finding himself with too many more kills. But it's Cohen pulling all of the weight this time around as he finds another 2 kills.
And Blink's just kind of harassing the payload before pulling back. He's been getting some nice shots with that, though. Mostly body shots, but still, it's been doing enough damage.
Definitely the case, and honestly, we've got to see some amazing shots coming out here. Did not expect Blink at all to be on that Widow. Usually plays more of the dive-centric. He's been playing a lot of Sombra recently, which I'm hoping we get to see come out a little bit later. Dashi now using that Tac Visor, but he's going to be mostly taken out of the equation as Wibe gets another kill. Blink finding another onto Oggy Beast as Luke Lex coming in, finding the kill onto the support as the Portal combat is going to be used here. Self-destruct coming down, gets 2 kills once again. I've been informed that Cohen is pronounced as Coon, but I'm not even sure if we're going to be using that. But we're going to be saying his name a lot as he gets 1 more kill, pulling so much weight on this Diva pick.
He's definitely doing a lot of defense. He's doing a lot of attack, too. His ult is actually managing to get kills, which is not something that Diva manages very often. Knows when to throw it and where to throw it at the enemy team.
Sort of throws me back to, I remember Boostio during
Blink!
Season 1.
Another
getting
headshot.
Another headshot there. But if we remember Boostio in Season 1, GameSmart was one of the people we used to call out for the Diva. Huge impact plays. Pichu with the flank, back to his old ways now. Gets into the backline, using that whole hog now, trying to find some more kills down. That's going to be 1 more ultimate use from Oggy Beast, but this is a red kill feed straight away. Blink finds 2 kills from that Widow, and it looks like the overtime push coming through. Oggy Beast taken out of the equation by Panluka, but Jellyfish, he gets the 3-man res. This could save the fight once again. Panluka does get himself the nano boost, but he misses that charge, goes straight inside the base instead. No nano on him now, as Kuhn gonna be taken out of that mech as the mech is scrapped once again, and Blink getting more kills, and this is an overtime push successful from the red side here.
Blink has been doing an incredible job with this Widowmaker pick. This is something we never see him play, even personally playing with him. Like, he does not pull this out, but he should more. This is doing an incredible job. The support from his team, he's doing wonderful.
Eating pulse bombs like candy, not going to be ringing true as a name, as Blink is going to be making them eat the headshots like candy, but it's Pichu getting that scrap gun in. Winston has been forced out now. Natsukage looking for that kill down onto Widow, does succeed in that, but look at the payload. It's already been pushed so far as Pichu, Proximo, and now Panluka, the rest of the red team, are coming in for support. That's another kill. That's going to be Oggy Beast pulled in. Panluka gets the hammer, as this is going to be so close to map finish. Self-destruct comes down once again. Proximo not going to be taken out this time, as Wibe uses that ultimate, taken out of the sky by Pichu, as Jellyfish also gets the same treatment from him. Dashi using that tactical visor, now Pichu using his whole hog, as these are all of the ults committed. Onimus will not be able to contest for too long here, but he's getting it. He's getting his team into this. This is finish, however.
Man.
7.2 seconds to spare.
Jellyfish was so close to pulling that out for at least a few more seconds before the rest of the team could come, but he couldn't at the very end, and that is sad. This is super sad. Alright, and let's get into the next part.
Definitely gotta say, I didn't expect such a huge contest coming out from this. Even though these are very mechanically skilled players who have shined throughout the entire season, these are players that the community wanted to see more of. But we didn't expect such a high level of gameplay coming through, even though we did only see standard team compositions.
Yeah, we didn't quite expect that, especially like with how the red team was pushing through. Like, in the first point, and most of the way through the second point, I wasn't expecting them to get such a contest out. Sorry. Oh, okay. But yeah, I wasn't expecting, like, the blue team to contest quite as hard as they did on that second point. But eventually, it came back down, and the red team was able to secure it with 7 seconds left. So they can go into second rounds if the enemy team pushes it all the way through.
7.2 seconds as well. We did see the second point actually being taken in overtime. So if we can see something different coming out, looking at the blue side this time around, we are going to have Trigger Me Baby taking a slightly different approach this time around. We've got the Lucio de Zenyatta, but we also have some composite parts of the dive coming in with the Winston, with the D.Va, but no real flankers there.
There isn't
interesting comp.
There isn't really any flankers, but I would kind of classify them as a dive. They just don't have quite as aggressive backline DPS. They just have, you know, the regular Aug Beast on Soldier, which is a component of most builds, and then you have Wibe, who can be behind, can be doing damage and things like that from the back.
Looking at this defense as well, very interesting start, very passive to start this off with. That's going to be a lot of healing already coming in from Proximo. 30% already on that ultimate charge. This will be the hold here, though. This is where we didn't get to see the side actually manage to hold last time around, as Dashi getting the opening kill here. Dashi getting the second. Pichu back to his old ways, gets the flank and takes the Farah off of the floor. Beautiful hold, as that's a very quick team wipe coming out of eating pulse bombs like candy.
I really like Panluka is doing a very good job with this Reinhardt. The one thing that I would like to see him do a little bit better is the charges. He's kind of missing most of his charges when he does go in. Oh, Pichu hooking in that D.Va, but not getting a kill or not taking down the mech first.
Well, we do have to consider, of course, this is the heavily nerfed Pichu.
This is
Even
true.
though he's been doing a lot of work so far, creating space, getting those picks, getting the flanks, which we have had to call him out for in the past a few times as well, but he seems to know exactly his limits today. He has showed up.
Yeah, he's definitely not pushing in as hard as he used to. He's not flanking as much as he did before. He's
And as we say that, he does.
Yep.
On the flank, no less, the caster curse
True.
is going to be real for today. Looks like the dive will be coming through here, however, bypassing the payload almost entirely as Blink trying to find something, using that Reaper, but it's Oggy Beast who will take him down instead. Proximo does get one trade kill back, but we're seeing a mostly blue kill feed here, as that's going to be a very easy take of this fight. All they needed was the time to recollect themselves and get that payload push in.
Yeah, they definitely did a lot better as soon as Pichu went down. Pichu does only have about 30% of the damage that he previously did, but still, he's doing a very good job, and as soon as he went down on that flank against Natsukage and the rest of the team pushing from that direction, it really did go in the attacker's favor.
Definitely the case, and with the attacker's favor on this map as well, we do have to consider this is now the streets phase. Blink getting the kill down onto Natsukage. Very easy work coming out of that Reaper.
And another one. Og Beast out of position for the attack now that he is dead.
And Pichu getting another hook. Looks like the story of this game coming through fantastically. Looking over on the red side as well, Ult Economy is in very strong standing with both sides here, with Oggy Beast being the only man who doesn't have an ultimate ready. Oh, he will do in just about 3 to 5 seconds on 96, but this is
And
one
here
ultimate
comes the
coming
Diva
through
ult.
straight away, not getting any work done here. Natsukage with the dive straight through. That's going to be a response straight in there, and this is lots of ults being blown at the same time. Blink not finding anybody with that Reaper ultimate. Cohen is going to find one with the boosters himself, though that's Oggy Beast now trying to find extra. This is lots of ults being blown straight away. Fire everywhere, particle effects going down wide, finding 2 kills. Blink finding the Diva mech, and this is still in contention. Panluca, the only German left alive, as this will be a corner gained for so many ultimates. There were 12 ultimates available, and now there are only 2. 10 ultimates blown in such a short space of time.
I think that's what you call an NA ult stack. It's definitely what that was right there.
Well, NA versus EU, we'll see that one day, and we'll see just exactly how we can do. We haven't seen any C9s so far, as Jellyfish is going to get a lovely headshot down onto the soldier. Luke Lex, this is going to be lots of Zenyatas on the kill feed, however, as Luke is going to
Panluca
find
went way
Jella. That's
far.
going to be another hook coming through, but finding the fight inside the bank vault, and that's going to be Diva out of mech almost immediately. Luke Lex not in a position to really heal anyone up, but Dashi going to be using that tactical visor. The clean sweep getting 2 kills almost immediately as Onimus and Wibe are forced back, and that forces another retreat. 1 minute 40 left on the clock here.
There is an interesting point in that they got the exact same defensive hold as the enemy team. Like, the same position, the same timing, honestly, even. Like, it's down to that. Oh, pause coming out.
Just got a quick pause coming through, as we do have a couple of players having a few issues with Discord at the second. Of course, communication being a very important thing in this game, so we need to get that fixed as soon as possible. Taking a look at ults once again, Jellyfish and Blink, the 2 men with ultimates available. Got a few ults coming up very soon as well.
Alright, yeah, we do have a few ults coming out from both teams fairly soon. There is a lot more coming out on eating pulse bombs like candy, though, with Pichu at 64%, Luclex at 77%, Panluca at 83%, and Proximo at 78%. Whereas the enemy team, there's only 3 people above 50%, but Ogbeast is only just above that.
Could be another big brawl coming up very soon, as the pause timer is going to be put in once again. Gonna have to see just how the blue side are going to be aggressing in once again. Trigger me, baby. Gonna be pulling the trigger very quickly. Didn't expect it to be that bad, as they're coming in through the backlines. Natsukage finding so much, creating so much space, as this is going to be a fairly even trade until Onimus gets another. Oggy Beast finding Reaper with the rockets as well, and that's going to be a very clean fight coming out of Trigger Me Baby, as they're finding this last corner.
Pichu's still up to stall, and the rest of the red team is coming out now. They are going to aggressive point, but Dashi going down very early in this fight.
Just getting clotheslined there. Kun gonna be flying away from Pichu's hook once again. That's nano boost onto Pichu, who's using that Reaper Roadhog ultimate already. Pan Luca finding a kill of his own. That's going to be another ultimate coming out of Kun, finding Pichu. So many Diva ultimates getting kills this game, but this is another retake of the payload coming out of the red side.
The blue team has to have one good, clean fight if they have any chance of taking this. Blink trying to get Natsukage out of the fight immediately before the fight starts, but unable to do so as he pulls back to his team.
Of course, we did see this point being taken in overtime last time around as well. 2 seconds, 1 second, getting onto that point. Contest coming through. Wipe finding one kill. Tac Visor does come down as Pichu takes a kill of his own, trading very even so far as Onimus takes out Pan Luca, and this could be another overtime take.
Two!
Using the ultimate, gets 2 kills. Pichu taking the Diva mech down, and this could still be the retake. Natsukage finding the first kill with that monkey ultimate, but mostly just creating space, trying to push this payload in as far as possible, but he's gone purple. He's on the payload. Pichu got his ultimate once again. That's the game, and that is the match, going over to the red side of eating pulse bombs like candy.
First round over. We are going to Numbani for the second map.
And that was a very, very close game. Almost taking that second point in overtime again. Brilliant work coming through from this man on your screen right now. Oggy Beast getting the play of the match, and looking at this as well. Fantastic aim from him all the way throughout. Proximo taken down, the triple kill coming in, and so much managed to be secured, even though he does get killed at the end of that. Brilliant first game, and definitely going to be setting the precedent for the rest of these games coming forward.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to the rest of them if they all are that intense. Eating pulse bombs like candy won.
Intense, definitely one of the words I would like to use for that. I wasn't expecting so much action coming through, and definitely, if we do get to see the entire 5-game series here today, I will be incredibly happy.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. Koki in chat mentioned, why is he choking after every second or after every sentence? Homemade Pizza responded, but this is the case that Douge is recovering from surgery and I am recovering from bronchitis at the moment. So we both are kind of worse for wear, specifically with our lungs. So it's not exactly great.
If it is any consolation, I do still have quite a lot of liquid in the left side of my lungs, so there's definitely going to be a little bit of choking coming through from me. Hopefully you guys are still able to hear my voice, and hopefully the clarity is still there for you guys. But obviously we've just come out of that first game, and eating pulse bombs like candy, taking the first win of the day here. Now, who would be your major MVP? Who made the biggest difference in that map for you?
Honestly, for like lots of different periods of it, Pichu was like extremely good at pulling the fight back, or like starting the fight off on the right foot for his team. He was getting all of those hooks at the right time, and even with how hard it is to get all of this damage out now, he is still getting hooks, he is still getting kills, he is supporting his team properly, and he's flanking less, which in the end is working out for his team more, I think. There's also Blink, who did an incredible job with that Widowmaker on attack. If it wasn't for that Widowmaker, I'm not sure that they would have been able to do that.
I have to say, we did get a fantastic fight coming through from Trigger Me Baby, however. Very solid defense and a very good attack coming through. Unfortunately, their attack didn't manage to get the second point. After eating pulse bombs like candy, were able to just retake momentum in the second point.
It felt like when Ogbeast went down on their attack, they lost a lot of, like, their bite. Like, a lot of the fangs behind the attack just kind of went away. If he was picked off early, or if he was picked off in the middle of the fight, a lot of it went down. Wybe was doing a very good job on that Pharah, but he wasn't getting consistent kills unless he had his ult up, which he was doing fairly good with, which is very hard to do with Pharah, but still, he wasn't doing enough, I don't think, for the fights to continue when Ogbeast went down.
So, of course, we do have to consider that these guys probably haven't played together very much before, so when we have still a fantastic fight coming out of them, even though we don't have necessarily all of that team communication that's actually there.
Yeah. Alright, just changing the names. Oh, I misspelled that. Okay.
Oh dear.
Ichiong! Pulse bombs like candy.
Eating pulse bombs like candy. Probably the longest name we're going to be having here.
Yeah, it's one of the longer names in this entire OWL. Let's see.
Definitely. Now taking a look, we are going to be going into our second map of the day, and of course we're going to be heading over to Numbani for this second map.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun map. I really enjoy this one myself when you have a nice organized team. Nobody likes any map in comp queue, let's be honest, but still. Like, when you have a team who knows how to play, knows how to work on these points, I think that this one is really fun and gives you lots of options defensively and offensively.
Of course, we do mostly see that high ground push being the first point of contention going on to the first point. Gonna have to see if that will be the case here today, as, well, of course, once again, we do have to take a look at this game as a bunch of people who haven't necessarily played together before, so mostly calling out those solo plays.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to be seeing the high ground push. We're definitely seeing a spread high ground defense.
Pichu also lurking on the wings there, waiting for his own opportunity to strike. Wybe and Natsukage are going to be the pharmacy combo for this map here as well. Definitely something that we do not like to see if you're playing against it. Cone already going to get hooked in there and losing his mech at the very beginning of this fight, and Pichu going to be making him lose the rest of his life as well, as that's going to be Panluka missing that charge, unfortunately. But once again, retreat is going to be forced out.
They may have to rethink their plan of attack because they were just trying to go Main Street and immediately were jumped on. They will probably have to push around through the top, through the bottom of the building, or around the back. And all of these are fairly well defended by this split high ground defense. Oh, Wybe and Natsukage going from the front again. It looks like they may just be committing to this front push.
They did also manage with that concussive rocket to get Panluka off of the high ground, so this could open up a separate opportunity for them. Blink is going to be on the Pharah this time himself. Jellyfish trying to dive in alongside Cohen, Natsukage and Wybe. This will be a different high ground push already coming in through from Trigger Me Baby, as Natsukage gonna fly in with the rest of the team, keep them all topped off on that Mercy, doing a fantastic job already. That's Winston jumping over from side to side. Wybe getting the pick down onto Proximo, as Blink only trading one back, but it's Onimus getting the kill down onto Pichu and onto Blink. Natsukage with the tempo res to keep this fight going, and that's a very easy take on objective A to start this round off.
That was entirely surprising. Usually the front push doesn't go so well, but they all just dove up onto the high ground, took it at their own pace, and moved in on the point once they cleared out everybody else. And tons of props to Onimus for getting so many kills with that boop.
been doing a lot of work so far, keeping his team mobile and also topped off alongside Natsukage. Fantastic healing duo coming in from these guys, gelling very well with the team, but 3 ultimates are available for eating pulse bombs like Candy, so we're going to have to see whether those are going to be used to regain control of this cart, which isn't being pushed at the second.
Yeah, and it's just Onimus keeping to the cart. Everybody else is kind of jumping off on the attack, but it's not working out for them well as the defense is coming back and taking some kills. Blink getting a headshot on Ogbeast.
Blink once again picking up that Widowmaker and finding some kills for himself. Pichu using his own skills to regain control as well. Beautiful flank coming out of him, as that's going to be another point retake coming out of the side of eating pulse bombs like Candy.
Yeah. They're not aggressing forward, which I think is a good idea. They're not keeping themselves in the open. They're just letting the enemy team take the payload if they want and hold it at their own pace.
We've also got one shout out coming in before this next fight, as that's Hibber official in the chat asking for the shout out. Nick Garrison, I'm just going to call you Hibber official for now, as we do have Trigger Me Baby taking this corner at their own pace. It's Proxmo picking Wibe out of the sky this time around, as Panluca on the Winston trying to create some space, but not really managing to do too much, as it's Pichu missing another hook here. Does get to heal himself up here alongside that biotic grenade. Cohen still pushing this forward, however. That's Blink with another kill down onto Hoggy Beast, as that's Pichu with another beautiful ultimate. Natsukage only picking one up off of the ground, as that's Jellyfish. Jellyfish will get slept almost immediately out of this before he's taken down once again, however. Wibe, you're not going to find too many shots as Blink finishes off Cohen, and Natsukage just falls to his death, as we're going to see another reset come out of the side of Trigger Me Baby here.
I mean, it was a good idea for him to fall off like that. Definitely, he was being chased by Panluca. He could have either like given him the ult charge or died, and Panluca was more than willing to just let him jump off.
I think, of course, we have to consider that taking a look at the suicide option, definitely something that players should invest in when they need to reset very quickly, as Oggy Beast gonna be pulled off the side of the map by Pichu. Brilliant start to this fight, as the 5v6 with 1 minute 30 seconds to spare.
That stuff always just feels dirty when you see it. And Jellyfish getting
when
hooked
it
in.
happens to you as well, you just get so tilted. You just have such a quick respawn. Nobody even gets to kill credit. Panluca diving forward here, trying to find anything he can, but not really anything to find there just yet. He's just diving in, diving out. Does get himself the nano boost, as we're seeing the dive come out. Jellyfish taken out of the fight almost immediately, now diving onto Oggy Beast in the backline. Rocket Barrage is going to be used by Wibe, however. Finds 2 kills, but the rest of the kill feed is going to be going blue, as eating pulse bombs like Candy find themselves in another favorable position.
Blink switched over to McCree, it seems like. He's coming back to the point, and we also had Jellyfish and Natsukage switch positions previously. Natsukage now on the Winston and Jellyfish on the Mercy. Unfortunately, messing up his jump.
Coming up next, as that's another jump coming out of Natsukage. We've seen him did manage to do a lot of work in the last game. Tac Visor coming out of Dashi, but he's going straight into Natsukage with the majority of that. Does find Jellyfish on the back end of that. Panluca will be creating space, as Big Winston instead. No extra space is
oh my god, that hook!
Getting hooked in at max range, and what a beautiful hold coming in from Pulse Bombs, who managed to keep that at 90.71 meters.
I nearly just cursed very loudly. That hook from Pichu was so nice. Onimus was right going up to that point trying to trigger the overtime, but Pichu was just like, nope, and hooked him back in, keeping him from getting that point, and that was an amazing play from him.
Pichu, of course, the hook hasn't really been changed at all, so we have to consider he's still got that hooking ability, and I was just about to call him a hooker instead. Not really what intended there. Hither Official in chat once again is asking us our favourite player in this match. We don't keep favourites here, unfortunately. We're not allowed to. We have to keep it nice and impartial. But we do get to shout out quite a few of these players quite often. So it's a pleasure to see all 12 of these gathered in the same place once again.
He is talking about Cone, and Cone is doing a very good job on the Diva. Pretty much every single time we see him play that, he's doing a very good job with the defense matrix, very good job attacking and moving in. And now he's switching over to the Winston. We'll see how he does on that on the defense dive, looks like.
Oggy Beast will be the one to take up the Diva mantle this time around as well. It's quite refreshing to see that all of these players are switching up the roles quite consistently, as Trigger Me Baby have switched up their roles very consistently throughout this. Jellyfish will be taking the Soldier this time around. We've seen him on tanks before. Onimus and Natsukage quite consistently playing those healers, however.
They definitely are fairly consistent with that. Onimus probably in his comfort zone with that Lucio, and honestly, he's doing a very good job of it, so I would not switch him off anyway. Natsukage and Jellyfish seem to be switching back and forth for the healer, though, with Mercy at the very least.
Now taking a look at this, Blink is back on the Tracer, so gonna have to keep an eye on that as the main is properly coming out already. Winston dive already coming through, but no real extra space as Panluca forced to dive all the way back out once again. Very split so far. Jellyfish taking advantage of that to take Blink out of the fight almost immediately. Proximo now taken very low as Jellyfish finding himself another kill down onto Pichu's Farah. Instead, Natsukage is going to find Panluca as well, and that's going to be a retreat forced out almost immediately.
I love it when Mercy kills people. That's so nice. It almost never happens, but it's always so nice.
It's sometimes quite a bit of a waste to just take out the Mercy gun as well. Of course, if you're in the 1v1 scenario, no reason to not do that. And Natsukage finding himself that kill, very close to having his res available as well, as Panluca diving straight back in, taken dangerously low and taken out of the fight at the very beginning here. Proximo does find himself on the point, and he's going to get completely and utterly smashed by every single member who drops down from the high ground. Kind of bad positioning at the very beginning of that, as Blink going back over onto the Widowmaker this time round. Dashi finding himself in a very dangerous and precarious position here, and boots all the way off the edge of the map.
One reason I think that the attackers are having a problem is they're going triple DPS on a non-dive comp. You can do that with a dive, with like a Winston and moving in fast, but with like a standard defensive comp, it really just doesn't work. Reinhardt is not very good for that type of play.
We could be seeing the full hold also coming out of these guys here. Panluca trying to get that high ground push coming in instead. This could tie up the series at 1-1, as well as Wybe finding the initial pick down onto Pichu. Everybody managing to drop in, as eating pulse bombs like candy are going to get absolutely melted by Wybe here, using that rocket barrage to fantastic effect, as Jellyfish once again finding another pick. It's been Jellyfish on Wybe all over this kill feed so far this game.
Okay, Pichu has switched over. I think this will be good for them. Pichu definitely knows what he's doing on the Roadhog, and he can isolate people to get picks. But they only have one, maybe two, if they're immediately killed, pushes left.
They are going into 5 ultimates from Trigger Me Baby, however, and Trigger Me Baby have played this point so well so far. Oggy Beast getting pulled in almost immediately. That's going to be the self-destruct, not finding any picks here. Tac Visor going to be comboed with the Nano Boost. Nano Visor coming in straight away, as that's Dashi finding the first kill, but getting punched away by the Monkey. Dashi trying to find Oggy Beast here, but he's finding himself in a bit of a precarious position once again. Natsukage with the res. Jellyfish finding himself using the ultimate now instead as Pichu finishes off Natsukage. Luke Lex gets the mech, and Jellyfish finding Dashi in the soldier duel. Panluka trying to find as much space as he can. It's Pichu using his ultimate now. Blink does get 2 kills. Pichu gets 2 as well, and this is swarming the point from eating pulse bombs like Candy, who may still find this win just yet.
And they're moving on. The thing is, I think that they had a really big problem with the composition that they had, and as soon as they switched, they did do much better. Pichu doing the cabbage patch on that payload, just moving around with that Roadhog. That is, I love the dance emotes so much.
I love the hidden interaction that also has with the Junkrat. Brilliant extra little bits added in by Blizz. Already another dive coming through. Very aggressive defense. Natsukage finding himself in the middle of the rest of the team, however. He's good about that mid's position as Panluka finding himself with a kill down onto Diva. Pichu not hitting that hook, unfortunately, but we're already getting to the boss here, and we are very quickly approaching the end of this map. Can eating pulse bombs like Candy actually finish this out after such a rough start to this game?
It's entirely possible. The enemy defense is not exactly coming down to aggress them too much just yet. Ogbeast looking like he's going in to stop it now, but the rest of the team isn't exactly diving in too hard. Except for
Cohen taken out almost immediately. Wibe does try that rocket barrage, but 1 kill down onto Dashi. Panluka finds 1. Blink using his ultimate, and that's the map finish. After such a rough start, they finish the round 2-1 with 1 minute 20 to spare.
I think the defense just wasn't aggressive enough that game. They could have done a lot more to aggress at that second point, but they just didn't go for it.
And a fantastic comeback, managing to win that round after such a rough beginning. We thought Trigger Me Baby had that in the bag with such a solid hold. Where did that go wrong for them?
They just weren't able to respond to the change in composition that eating pulse bombs like Candy just finally picked out. As soon as Pichu switched, as soon as Blink switched, things got much, much better for their team. Wibe getting 3 gold medals for his team.
Pichu also proving that Roadhog probably not dead just yet. As long as this guy's around, those hooks are always going to be on point, unless they rework the hook next, in which case I think he's just probably going to quit, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, to be fair, if they switch that hook too much, he's probably just going to start only playing Pharah ever, and that's about it.
I did get to speak to Pichu not so long back, actually, but taking a look at how he's going to be playing in the coming season, he has also expressed a desire to actually pick up different champions. Sombra was one of the champions that he also named, and I'm really hoping we get to see that come out. Also Sombra, Blink plays a lot of it. I know he has an account dedicated to Sombra alongside an account dedicated to Hanzo. We might see some of those surprise picks also coming out at some point.
Yeah, we may. Honestly, it depends on how this match goes. The chat is getting kind of rowdy at this point, it seems like, but hey.
Well, Movit has called Pichu MVP. What would you say is going to be your MVP for that game? Of course, eating pulse bombs like Candy. 6 members who all pulled their weight. But we could also say that Trigger Me Baby's defense, one of them could also take MVP for that second game.
For defense, Wibe did an incredibly good job for that first point. Honestly, he pulled it back from, like, the brink 1 or 2 times, and honestly, he killed people very early. So for Trigger Me Baby, I have to say that he is the MVP for that map. For eating pulse bombs like Candy, I kind of have a toss-up. I think it's Pichu and Panluka. Panluka on the Winston was an incredible pick. He knew when to dive, he knew when to engage with his team, he knew just how far and how much he could push, without dying. And that is an incredible skill to have and wonderful for taking back space with your team.
Space, definitely something he created a lot of. We saw him play the Reinhardt as Reinhardt and Winston, two champions whose primary concern is creating space and just making sure that they get the rest of the team in there. Brilliant performance from them, and honestly, I've got to say, I quite agree with the Pan Luca pick on that one. It's always fantastic to see tanks doing such a great job. But also, we have to take a look at Luke Lex and Proximo, who are playing the healers that time around.
Yeah, they're doing an incredible job. They're not, exactly being shouted out as much because we don't often shout out healers unless it's like a Lucio doing an incredible play or something, but honestly, they've been extremely solid this entire time, and it's been keeping their team alive and well.
Of course, we did get to see Luke Lex in some, let's say, awkward positions alongside Proximo, who didn't seem to realise where the rest of the enemy team was whilst he was fully scoped in and surrounded by about 5 separate members. Of course, we're going to have to see whether that does happen again this time around, as we are going over to our third map now. We are going to be heading over to the beautiful Oasis, lovely sunshiny map. Lovely weather here today is in my room, and I'm starting to sweat a little bit too much.
Same.
I can only imagine how you feel without the fan on.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Looking at these compositions that have started to find themselves being locked in, I'm hoping we get to see that Sombra stick around alongside Blink's Tracer. Definitely two heroes that I love seeing, especially when they're played well.
I would love to see everybody on Eating Pulse Bombs like Candy keep who they have right now. Pichu with that Torbjorn, Blink with that Tracer, Luke Lex was on the Bastion, Proximo's still on that Hanzo. This would be an incredible fight if they did keep with this.
Just a quick reminder for you guys out there, we do have the blue side, which is going to be Trigger Me Baby, and the red side, Eating Pulse Bombs like Candy, as the fight for this point is already going to be started, as that's going to be Torbjorn actually kept in here. Pichu getting taken out of the fight almost immediately, though, as Wibe doing some work. Proximo with the Hanzo, finding himself a kill down onto Mexico with that lovely skill arrow coming out already, as that is another beautiful take. Already starting this game off from Eating Pulse Bombs like Candy.
With that, yeah, with the Torbjorn and the Hanzo, they're doing a pretty good job so far. Only the one healer and the one tank with them. Oh, headshot with the sound arrow.
Does that stick around? Because you
does.
can just imagine like, just a dead body with this sonar arrow sticking out of it for the rest of the game, as Blink taken dangerously low at the beginning of this, and I cannot get that image out of my head. I'm sorry.
That's fine. My biggest thing is, like, if you landed in a person, does it sonic arrow from where the person is or from where you hit them? I honestly don't know, so it's like confusing for me. Proximo, another headshot with that Hanzo. Incredible skill going into these arrows.
He is, of course, firing redwood tree trunks at the opponents, so the headshot ability is going to be a little bit extra. Oggy Beast on the Junkrat, not really finding too much work here, as he's taken dangerously low and forced out of the fight already at the beginning of this. And I'm sorry guys, I keep saying champions rather than heroes.
Yeah.
Of course, if you would like to let me know which you prefer, just so I can keep that going for you, let us know in the chat, as the EMP gonna be starting this fight off almost immediately. Blink does find the kill down onto Wibe, however, and even though we did see the EMP to initiate this fight, we've got so much counter engage coming out of the side of Eating Pulse Bombs like Candy that we just don't see Trigger Me Baby taking this point at all.
Pichu finally dead, but getting a pick by himself as Torbjorn before it comes out.
And overtime, oh, almost seeing the C9 come out there, as Dashi going to be jumping down. He's got that ultimate available, and he's using it. Proximo finding two, as Dashi finds a third himself, and that's a very easy victory for Eating Pulse Bombs like Candy, with the 100-0 lockout to start this round off.
Yeah, that is an interesting beginning to this, but it is going to be out of best of 5, I believe, for this map. So,
goodness. Just the most fantastic name in Twitch chat at the second.
What?
Angry Russian Flame Master 69.
Yeah.
Fantastic
That's great.
name to you, my man. And you are probably getting the Name of the Day award if we had one of those.
If we did. I was playing like Lawbreakers or whatever earlier, and there was a guy that said that had a username that was like Angry Russian Get to Point B or something like that. And I'm just like, yes.
Angry Russian Rush B.
Yeah,
something
Rush B,
along those
something
lines.
along those
Drop
lines.
AVP. We've got all of that coming in today, as Luke Lex is going to be playing the Bastion this time around. If we've got anything that makes Russians angry, it will be the Bastions, as Oggy Beast using the very high skill cap hero of Junkrat to find the first kill down onto Pichu, as Luke Lex finds one for himself. So we're traded fairly even to begin this off. Control point is starting to unlock now, as Cohen now picking up the Hanzo mantle. What even are we seeing this game? As Trigger Me, baby,
don't know.
are the first onto the point this time around.
We have 3 semi-joke DPS from Trigger Me Baby. And then we have Natsukage on the regular one.
Okay, just doing push-ups on the point whilst getting
Like, what is
smacked
this?
with a
What is this, honestly?
Oggy Beast taking a little bit of a nap, and oh my goodness, that was brutal, as Oggy Beast getting the revenge with that martyrdom ability at the very beginning. Panluca just saying in chat as well, welp, that does happen.
Yeah, it does. Definitely does happen.
Vikioku does prefer the title characters.
I mean,
Clarky prefers bots. Well, of course, we'll stick to heroes for now, because I think that's what they're classified as in this game,
that's what
isn't
they're
it?
classified as. They're technically heroes.
Heroes,
Even if
off-meta
Oh,
heroes,
man.
we're seeing a lot of this time around. Composition starting to get a little bit more, I don't know, could you say, oh my goodness, there's a... That's going to be Sombra screaming off the side of the map there, getting booped off by Velucio at the beginning, as Kern trying to find whatever work he can. Luke Lex does take him out of the fight, however, and 48% is now on the board for eating pulse bombs like candy.
I'm just going to be watching the Bastion. I don't know why I wasn't first-personing Bastion earlier, honestly.
Some very interactive gameplay as the TAC visor now coming down wide finds 2 kills at the very beginning of this, however,
Oh, hey.
and that's actually a fantastic retake. Very good
Oh,
coming
res
through.
though.
Dashi with that 2-man res, however, finding that tank config now coming through. But it's Cone to take him out, firing the redwood tree trunks and finding himself a robot.
Well, this has been certainly a match. I have to say, it's certainly a game. Like, why harassing the backline before teleporting out?
Of course, we are at 2-0 at the second. This is a best of 5 series, so if eating pulse bombs like candy take this map, we will be seeing them take the All-Stars title this time around. Nano Boost will be coming down onto Tracer here, trying to find some kills, but not really finding anything at the second. Luke Lex does find his first, not finding a second. Honestly, it's so weird as Tracer when you get the Nano Boost. You spend more time reloading than anything else.
Yeah, honestly, it's definitely kind of a weird thing.
And
the
so many live
res.
saying, WTF is this? If we knew, we would tell you, but unfortunately this has sort of just descended into chaos. The first 2 maps that we did get to see were absolutely fantastic, and we did get to see some very competitive gameplay come through, but competitive or competent gameplay, both of which we've seemed to have lost in this our 3rd round, as overtime is now coming through in favour of Trigger Me Baby Oggy Beast, finding 2 kills with that Riptire, as Coon does find himself the closing pick as we tie up this 1-1 for now.
Alright, so we have a best of 3 basically going into the next ones. But will they play regular cops? I don't know. This is a very interesting meme that they have going that I'm not sure about.
Blink on that Hanzo. I can actually
Ooh.
attest that Blink is a very good Hanzo. Now, I say that in the least ironic way possible.
Yeah.
Because I generally dislike Hanzo. Sorry, Blink, but I just hate the fact that you have
Okay.
an alter count dedicated to Hanzo.
Like, okay, it looks like they're kind of going back to normal, aside from Blink, obviously.
But to be fair, this is kind of normal for Blink, who's been playing heroes like Hanzo for such a long time. Hanzo on each side here. Panluka getting the dive already in there. Natsukage going to be on the receiving end of the tickle gun as Kun will be finding the introductory pick. Natsukage taking the monkey out as well. Somebody call the RSPCA because that was absolutely disgusting with the headshot there. Looks like Wibe getting a lot of airtime. Blink does find a kill down onto Jellyfish as we've now started to trade a little bit more even. Onimus does take Pichu out of the equation as well, but this will be the objective open. Blink getting on there first. Wibe going to be on the receiving end of the tickle gun this time round. Natsukage being forced out by Panluka, who's created so much space. Wibe looking for Blink, gets him down to half health, but Blink getting the return trade kill there as eating pulse bombs like candy do manage to find the point first.
I might have to tell Trigger Me Baby that this seems like it's going back to a regular match, even if there's a Hanzo.
Well, we do have the Hanzo and the EMP ult coming through from Trigger Me Baby, so we could be seeing something different coming out of these guys. They could commit quite a bit into the next point as Blink using that skill arrow to find himself, a second there as he gets the kill down onto Onimus. I think Jellyfish just got ran over as well.
Yeah. This has been a very weird last map. Well, maybe not last. It could not be the last map, but
Definitely seems like eating pulse bombs like candy have the advantage here. They've gone back to serious and they've actually started to pull this out once again. Pichu finding another kill down onto Kun as Luclex takes Jellyfish out as well. They just cannot get onto this point at the second. 58-0 here. We could be seeing a repeat of the first map and that will be a complete 100-0 lockout.
and I mean, Blink is doing alright on this Hanzo.
Does have the ultimate available as well. Pichu getting another kill, and honestly, it looks like they've just started to, give up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Can't really say what's truly going on, waiting for 6 members to be fully available again, but Blink finding another kill with that skill arrow. Just aim it at the 4-pan. Luca gonna be getting absolutely brutalized here as he's just standing still and dancing. 96%. We could be seeing the full lockout once again as that's 2-1 on the board for eating pulse bombs like candy. Try-harding just a little bit in what seemed to be a little bit of a mean game.
If there is one more person, like if there's one more win on the Eating Pulse Bombs like Candy side, they are going to take the entire All-Stars game. So, comes down to this last map, which they already won the first time.
Maybe this would be a good point to point out to our viewers that if you do want to see some more competent Overwatch coming in, watch the first 2 games in the VOD and seeing something a little bit better than this. And taking a look, actually, we do have Trigger Me Baby with a bit more of a standardized composition in comparison to what they've had beforehand.
I wouldn't say so.
I'm trying to be positive here, Energy.
Yes, there's 4 DPS. Symmetra is a DPS. And there's 1 healer and 1 tank. This is insanity, man. Like, you can't say it is anything but that.
Definitely starting to look a little bit like a quick play game here as Augie Beast is going to be taken out of the equation straight away with that suicide. Wibe does kill Panluka, however. Jellyfish getting pulled in, but Pichu not able to secure that kill fully. Trigger Me Baby are contesting this point very heavily. Dashi is almost taken out by Kun there on that Symmetra, but Red side eating pulse bombs like candy once again, getting the better of this and taking this point. We could be seeing this being the last round here in this best of 5 of the best of 5.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. If they do manage to win this map, this one last section of the map even, then they will take the entire All-Stars game. And eating pulse bombs like candy will become the victor overall.
Gonna have to see whether that will be the case. Just to quickly remind everyone, we are 2-0 in match scores. Eating pulse bombs like candy. Gonna be aggressed on a little bit here as Wybe and Natsukage getting the entry frags that could be starting this game off. Panluka does trade one back, however, and it looks like Trigger Me Baby are contesting fully. Oggy Beast gonna be contested by Pichu now, and this is a blue swarm getting onto this point, trying to find Oggy Beast, but Pichu will be the one taken down instead. Monkey has to jump up into the air, but he's still contesting this point, waiting for the rest of the team to become available. Natsukage and Wybe finding kills of their own. Natsukage using his ultimate, but mostly going into Panluka on that Monkey. Trigger Me Baby will get themselves the point here.
Well, they have taken it back, but it is still 61% in the favor of eating pulse bombs like candy, and they can take it. If they can take it back, they can probably win this match.
Almost 3 ultimates fully available for eating pulse bombs like candy as well.
Yep, 3 now, about to be 5.
We have seen Pichu manage to charge that ultimate incredibly quickly with just how well he plays on this Roadhog, so that will be another available very soon.
And the monkey's going ape, moving in.
And once again, 3 kills coming out from eating pulse bombs like candy. It's just very hard to keep track of all of this action that's going on, because honestly, there's just so much of it. Panluka does finish off Natsukage, who did try to trade back quite a few, but Wybe being the last member to go down, eating pulse bombs like candy do get the point themselves once again.
Yep, they have taken it back, and if they can hold it for the rest of this, then they will have the title of the All-Star match.
Panluka not doing so well with those jumps up to where Blink
No,
is.
he's not.
Blink just getting a nice bit of a teabag in to prove his superiority in the wall-running cart. So, oh, what? Oggy Beast going off the side of the map once again. Blink finding 1 kill, but that's 2 for Trigger Me Baby. We're now even on the kill feeds as Pichu makes it in the favor of eating pulse bombs like candy. Once again, Wybe does try to find something. He's going to try and contest at this point as soon as we are at the end. Overtime forced once again. This could be all over now. Eating pulse bombs like candy will take the game. They will take All Stars here and now, as that is eating pulse bombs like candy finishing off All Stars with a 3-0 victory.
Yeah, pretty dominant victory for them, but it was a good job. Proximo as Hanzo with the play of the match.
And there we see the
Double
brilliant
hit.
skill arrow coming out there as well. Absolutely love it.
And that will be it.
Definitely a brilliant first 2 games coming out of
Yeah,
it.
definitely that.
Of course, we didn't get to see Temple of Anubis or Lijiang Tower. We didn't even get to see our tiebreaker map today on Nepal, so we could have definitely been around for a little bit more, but that is, once again, eating pulse bombs like candy, taking the victory with Pichu, Blink, Lucalex, Dashi, Panluka, and Proximo finding themselves the victors of the All-Star Tournament for this season. Now, hopefully we'll be seeing them again next season coming in. Consolations, of course, going over to Onimus, Jellyfish, Natsukage, Oggy Beast, and Wybe and Cohen, who didn't manage to edge it out that time around, just getting slightly outclassed by the other All-Stars. Who was your real pick for MVP for the rest, though?
Honestly, I'd say it's down to Pichu and Panluka. Like, I don't know if I can specifically give it to one of them, because Pichu did an incredible job getting so many of the kills, like, the entire time, but Panluka, as the main tank for the entire game, except for that last match, obviously, did an incredible job making space, creating space for his team, keeping the pace going, and everything else. So I honestly kind of have to give it to Panluka, just because he played such an integral role to his team, pushing and diving and getting everything else done. If it wasn't for him on Numbani and his, like, carefully timed dives, I don't think they would have been able to do that just as well as they did anyway. So, yeah. Panluka and Pichu. Pichu secondary for that.
Definitely the case, and well, this is probably our best time to thank everybody out there in the audience for tuning in today. It's been a fantastic set of games to host for you guys, and if you guys would like to catch more of our streams, make sure to follow us here or on Twitter at OW University. We stream every Saturday at 3 p.m. GMT for our EU games and at 6 p.m. CST for NA games. Of course, this has been the All-Star event at the end of the tournament. Coming up next week will be our playoff games, and we are all incredibly hyped to see those. Of course, if you'd like to tune in to the NA All-Stars, make sure to follow this channel once again and see it going live, which will be at 6 p.m. CST. I'd like to give an extra special thank you to Alterna, who has done the great duty of hosting and making sure that this event has run as smoothly as it has, and honestly, not a single problem today. So, Fantastic work to yourself, Alterna. Extra special thank you to Pimp in the Crib and the rest of the admin staff over at the Overwatch University League, who have put so much time and effort into getting all of this organized on the back end as well. Brilliant work to you guys. Keep doing what you're doing so we can do what we love doing here. Thank you to everybody out there in the audience for tuning in today. But the final thing to say, I've been Daniel Dudge Sandal, and joining me today has been Energy Being, and it's been a pleasure to host for you all. Thank you very much.
Yep, we'll see you next time.